decade and a half.
Yeah, I was trying so hard not to be that guy because I started out with consoles and I was very adamant on consoles for the longest time. But after I got my first PC, my consoles just like they're like just collecting dust. Like like it's like why do I even have them? And now you want to try to charge me $800 for something and then I still can't even at least put a disc in it. And like
Yes,
you said,
bro.
no new games. It's like slightly
Yeah,
like a slight upgrade. You want to just get a PC. I never wanted to be this guy, but just get a PC. It's no, just get a PC. You can do way more with it, and at this point, you're paying the same price. So just get a PC.
I'm glad you brought up the disc thing because that was when I was looking it up. Like, I'm like, what's the difference? Because I own a PS5, and
Hmm.
it was like one of those like I'm gonna buy a Christmas present for myself because there's no way somebody's gonna buy me a PS5 for Christmas because of how expensive it was, right? So the disc thing was is I'm glad you brought that up because for me, like I'm one of those I guess like older school gamers where I'm like I want a physical copy, like I want it so I can show off my
Hmm.
collection. And now that that's not an option, it's like, well, what's the point? Okay, cool, it's faster, but my PS5 just works fine. You know, at least with the
Exactly.
kind of gaming I'm doing, and with the kind of game other people are doing too. Yeah, there's definitely like a community where they actually like want a physical copy. So I think it's a bad move on their part.
Mm-hmm.
I think they say they charging extra for it. You gotta buy it separately.
Yeah, it's like
That's
65,
insane.
$70.
That is insane.
Wow.
And they charge an extra for the. I don't know much about the. I mean, I don't have a PS5, but I know I know how it works. But you got to charge. They charge extra for the stand as well. The little stand to hold it
So,
Oh my
up.
so
god.
sorry. Let me get this. Let me get this right. So there's the PS5 Pro or whatever it's called. So I'm uninformed because it's not my world. I'm new to PC. Then they're selling an external disk drive for like 70, $80.
Yes.
You can get like a disk drive for a computer is like $20. Like you can get a disk drive for it. Wow, that's
Don't forget about that stand, Johnny. You need something to stand it up on. So don't
you
forget
don't.
about that.
No,
I
you
suppose.
don't. No, you don't.
Goodness gracious.
To me,
Goodness. No wonder Sony's losing money. No wonder Sony's losing money.
bro, this PS5 that I got right here is gonna be the last console I ever own. Is what it sounds like to me.
In fact,
All right,
looking
so
at our bill of topics today, I think we're going to be trashing Sony a lot today. Actually,
That was not
and I,
intentional, I
I
promise.
mean, there's three
and I
separate
love
topics
Sony,
on
man.
here
I
that are like.
hate to do it to them.
Mhm.
So, I mean, for
I
me,
hate to do it to them too.
Go ahead, Caroline. My bad.
Ooh.
Oh no, like well, it's funny you mentioned that Sony's not doing well. I don't know if you guys follow the market, and it's kind of a little bit off topic, but they're splitting their stock 5-1 at the end of this month. And usually when a company splits, there's a tendency to it's like saying, like they're not doing as well. So like, oh, it's like encouraging people to buy stock because hey, it's a lot cheaper to buy our stock now. Which is, again, how another way of companies to make money, like the very short end of it. So I'm just like, I mean, this is not a good move for them, I don't think.
Yeah, I
Who's
think
gonna buy this?
the price point. That's what I'm saying,
Sorry, that
PJ.
was
The price
kind of
point for me is the asinine part about it is like 700. That's $1,000. I mean, you can get I don't know, you can get so
Hello,
much stuff for that. I mean,
and you're not getting a game with it. You're
yeah,
not
right. No
getting. You're
game.
playing the same game. Like I don't have a
No.
PlayStation 5, and I was planning on getting one. Now I'm gonna go against myself. I said I wouldn't get this Pro or a regular, but when they released, it's not on the topic, but it's in the Sony topic. But I said when they released this PS1 edition, I said, now look, I
Okay.
might just get it just because it looked like the PS1. And if it called, that'd probably be the last console I get because I don't even have an Xbox. I don't even have the new gen. So like an
It's funny.
exclusive one like that would be one of the last consoles I get before I switch to PC because Dre been trying to hound me about this PCs for like the last 2 months.
My
I
bad.
was gonna say it's
Once
funny that you
you
said.
No,
yeah,
you're good.
once you come over, once you join the winning side, you'll
It's
never go
me
back.
not having space right now,
Hey,
but I'm
I
working
can
on it.
attest to that. I can really attest to that because when I got my PC, I don't. I my like. I only play my consoles, and this is another topic, so I almost didn't want to say it now. But the only time I touch my console is if it's an exclusive. Okay. When God of War came out, all right, let me dust off the PS5 because I ain't touched it since the last exclusive. And my Switch the same way.
Well, that's a
PC, it is not a friend to gamers who want physical media, which is the downside, because I see and I respect that whole philosophy, because buying games through Steam or other services, you don't actually own the game. Like you own access to the game, but like that can be like, there's no guarantee that that's ever going to be revoked. That sort of stuff. And I mean, when's the last time you saw a PC game for sale in a physical copy? I mean, I haven't
That's
seen
a
it
good
in
point.
like 10 years or something like that.
Mm.
So it's it's not perfect. It's there's always room for improvement, but PC gaming has been my go-to for a long time now.
That brings me
I'm
to
a-
the topic of exclusivity that BJ brought in, because I think I still do play my Xbox. I've been PC gaming with you guys for a little bit now, but I still play my Xbox because it's in the other room, obviously. But what about exclusive games like for the God of Wars? For the Xbox does the PC thing, so it doesn't matter that much. But Horizon Zero Dawn, and then we're not even thinking about Nintendo, Mario, all those things. Do you think games should still be exclusive, or should we just go away with exclusivity?
I think exclusivity should still be a thing. My only thing is it should be um a bigger selling point than what they have been. Like when it comes to exclusivity, in the past it was like, look at this iconic character, this new IP. Like now exclusivity is just more of Mario shoes are beating up, bruh. Like give him a break. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like God of War, this man has a whole kid now. He about to die. Can we give him a break? You know what I'm saying? Master Chief, his armor's rusted. Give him a break. Give out some new IPs if you're gonna keep this exclusivity. Other than that, give these third party people a chance, because they actually making better games than these first party games that are $70-$80, when I can just pay 20, 30, 40 for early access, and then and have the time of my life with all these bugs, versus paying $70 for a half-baked game where half of it is, oh, we pushed it back, so we're gonna put it behind a paywall so we can give you the extra 40% of the game that was supposed to go in the initial game. But like, and now the console's $800. I could what? Nah. So exclusivity is cool when they're pushing out like high quality, like justifiable.
Yeah, I guess if the objective of exclusive games is to sell consoles, I don't know if it's really working. Because what's the last like really good exclusive game that was released? I can't even really think of one. Again, I'm not invested in the console situation.
I like God of War personally.
Okay.
So I would say that.
Well, which console was that on? And
It's on the PS5.
Okay.
They do eventually come to PC later though, so I don't know if that excludes it. But like I think the new one.
It's about to come out.
Okay, yeah. So they do eventually come to PC later.
Which game is that?
God of War.
What is it, Ragnarok?
Yeah, Ragnarok, the second one. Well, I guess not technically the second of the new series of it. No, I mean, I think exclusives though. I think they kind of need them because again, like, I don't even know if I would have a PS5 if it wasn't for the fact that I knew there was games coming out on only the PS5, so I have to have it if I want to play that game when it comes out. You know, I wouldn't even have this if it wasn't for that. When I bought, that was literally the reason why I bought this, because I know I like God of War, and then even like usually the Spider-Man stuff now that they have, it comes out only on the PS5 first. So that's literally the only reason why I own the console. So I think if they got rid of that, then I don't think it would be good for Sony. I mean, Xbox kind of already was like, let's just put all our stuff on PC, and I think it works wonders for them, right? So
yeah, I think if console sales, if enough people stop buying consoles, and if there was a more massive shift toward PC, just to have access to the market of gamers that could buy their games, they would need to exclusives would need to stop happening. At the moment, they're able to exclusives exist because people are willing to buy consoles so that they can play the exclusive games.
Exactly. I mean, Nintendo, the king of it, right?
They probably have the best
living
setup.
completely off of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Sony could survive like that. I don't think their stuff is. They only got God of War. Like, what else? That's it.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And an
Yeah.
$800 console, you just killed yourself right there.
If you're going to rely on
It is tough.
exclusives for your business model, then you better start making good games like Nintendo does. That's my
Yeah.
Well, not only that, Nintendo makes it. I mean, again, I'm obviously very biased because
That's all right.
I'm a big Nintendo fan. I'm going to Super Nintendo World in a couple weeks, by the way. I'm
Oh,
so
okay.
excited about it.
Hell yeah.
But like to your point, I feel like Nintendo does it well. Yeah. They do it well because they make it affordable. Like my Switch was $350. So, and I like it because, again, because I travel so much for work, I can play it at home and I can play it on the plane. Whereas I can't do that with a PC or like a PS5 or an Xbox. You know, to me, that's what differentiates. And I think, you know, throughout the years, especially Nintendo, whether it's a hit or not, they try to differentiate themselves from the others, which is why I think that at least with them, game exclusivity is fine. With every other game, like again, big Final Fantasy person, I'm so glad Final Fantasy is on the Switch because now I can play it. You know, not that I couldn't play it on the PS5, but to me, it's like, well, you know, how is a PS5 any different than the Xbox than a PC? So, and then so again, back to that whole $700 thing, it's ridiculous. So,
yeah, that's the killer. Yeah, because you said affordability and it like clicked in my head. Like, you know, that's the perfect point to it. Nintendo keeps their shit affordable. Even whenever the new Switch comes out, I don't expect it to be more. It probably won't even be $500. It probably won't be more than $500, right? Which is probably going to be reasonable for whatever it is.
Right.
Maybe, right,
So that's a good point.
And
The
Nintendo's console is the only real one that is differentiated from the others in any real way. I mean, Caroline, I think you said what's the real difference between an Xbox and a PS5, like except for maybe a couple exclusive titles. But I mean, there's almost and there's no comparing those two consoles to a Switch. It's like a completely different machine.
It's true.
I also think Nintendo has like more IPs to capitalize on. Like they literally have a whole fighting game full of their IPs.
True.
And every one of those franchises did numbers and or are recognizable and or are like independently sound for the most part. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe Sony might have to start taking a harder look at what Nintendo does.
Sony has tried it and it failed because they didn't have the staying power of the. There was, what was it called? What was the Sony version? I forget. There was like a fight. I don't remember the name. There was like a fighting game.
Oh, the fighting.
Like Crash Bandicoot and all those guys. Something like that. Yeah,
I think it was like PlayStation All Stars. I can't remember some shit like that.
Was it Crash? Oh.
Yeah, it was not good.
No? Okay.
No.
I would say for me, and this is gonna be a total different than what y'all said. If I got a Volkswagen and I got a Lamborghini and they can do, what's the point of me? Why would I go buy a Lamborghini for $100,000 and it does the same thing as the Volkswagen? I feel like the Lamborghini has some things, the butterfly doors. I feel like some games need to be exclusive. Like, or I would just go get the cheaper Volkswagen. It wouldn't make no sense for me to get the higher price thing and they can do they got all the same games on it. So why would I get the two cars with the same stuff? You got to buy into it. I think I think that's the way to get people into the ecosystem is to have. I mean, we talked about exclusive, but then all of you guys talked about Nintendo, which is my favorite company, and they got is exclusive. You don't see Mario on the Xbox. You don't see Pokemon on the PS5. You ain't catching Pokemon, or maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe you are with some of these games that we're gonna talk about. But for me, I think it needs I used to get an Xbox to play Gears of War. Maybe somebody's gonna get a PS5 to play Last of Us. You definitely gonna get the Switch to play Donkey Kong, Pokemon, Mario Kart, whatever it is. None of their games now. Xbox's games are on PS5. I don't know if you guys knew that. They sent 4 of their games to PS5. So for me, I think it needs to be a little bit because I don't like it. I know some people won't like this statement, but when new consoles come out, I feel like they should not sell any more of the old consoles to make people buy into the new. Because that's probably a very unpopular opinion.
Don't
but
say that.
If you want to sell the new consoles, how are you going to get people to sell? Because now they're making, that's a problem that they have with these the podcasts I listen to, is they're making a PS5 version, they're making a PS4 version. That is
why?
It doesn't make sense to me. You want people to buy that PS5. All right, next year, you release it, and a year after you say, all right, we stop assembling the PS4s, go buy a PS5. Or I don't really know what to tell you. Keep playing your PS4, but to me, it needs to be go ahead, my bad.
I feel like that tells you that they ain't selling no consoles. Because they still making it on PS4 because not enough people got PS5s for the game to sell the way they would want it to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what back from earlier when Haku mentioned that he don't have a PS5, and I was gonna say I know a lot of people that don't have PS5.
That's what I'm saying.
They even have one.
Yeah, like think about when the Xbox and the PS5 came out. It was, first of all, it was COVID, so niggas that had no money. First of all, second, there was no games that came with them, none. For like a good half a fiscal year, there was no games that came on the new console. It was old ported games that they just gave a few upgrades and threw it on there. That is a bad selling point.
Mm-hmm.
That is a terrible selling point. Like at least in the past with like Xbox One and PS4, you had bundles, you had specific exclusive consoles. Like the Gears 4 console was red and it came with Gears and it came with the Ultimate Edition. You had what was it, the old Spider-Man? They had the Spider-Man's PlayStation 4. Like you had a reason to get the console because it came with not just pretty graphics that the average consumer doesn't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? You had a visual piece in your house. The PS5, I'm glad they're making you sell the stand now, because we learned that the PS5 standing up was terrible. Inside it was overheating and it was terrible. And it was convoluted just to put it on its side. I said, what is this?
I ain't gonna lie, mine standing up and I never had an issue. I just want to put that out there.
I'm just saying they had a whole thing where like the inside the little chip was like melting and you could see like it had issues.
That's crazy.
But neither here nor there. I just feel like, for example, jumping on the exclusive
I did not know about that actually, because
that was a thing. Like that was a whole thing. Like people didn't know how to take the stand off. Like it was ridiculous. But back to the exclusive thing, it was like I feel like if you're gonna do hopping exclusive, I'm cool with exclusive jumping. I'm cool with that because Nintendo did it perfectly with Monster Hunter.
Okay,
they did it perfectly. I got into Monster Hunter because it was on Xbox. It was on the Game Pass, and I put God knows how many hours. I know it's like at least 300 something thousand hours on that game by accident. So exclusivity can happen, but you have to have the perfect model to do it. And I feel like Monster Hunter is a perfect model because now look at Monster Hunter Wilds. It debuted. The trailer debuted at the Sony's console, and we know it's finna do numbers. But it's a Nintendo. It's a Nintendo port. God of War ain't doing them kind of numbers. Look at Harry Potter. It didn't do no numbers on Nintendo Switch.
Right.
So I feel like they need to take a bite out of the little brother of Nintendo, because I feel like Nintendo just has it right for the most part
for the longest time.
Yeah. And we've been talking a lot about the viability of exclusive game publishing and if companies are doing it effectively. But I think something that we might not have really talked about yet is that I think exclusivity is at its heart anti-consumer, like it is anti-gamer, because like that for me to play this game, I would have to buy the console instead of like, so I mean, it would be like it would benefit me if all Nintendo games were available on PC, for example, because like I would be able to do these things. So it is very much like a business tactic that is like, don't get me wrong, like effective, like very, solid capitalism in practice. But in terms of my experience as a consumer, it's a way to get me to pay more money to have access to something. So I think I've got a moral opposition to exclusivity, though I understand the business model. So like there's I recognize that it's that it is like the nature of the game.
I think they have to have these exclusives, because if you could just play everything on PC, then you would. You don't need to buy these consoles. But see, and I guess I'm kind of going backwards a little bit, but it's kind of like that was the thing that the console had, though. It's like, okay, PCs, if you want to get a decent one that can run, you know, recent new games, you might have to, you know, spend a nice little chunk of change. Okay, but then now you have the console where it was like, okay, this is like it's a lot cheaper and you can still play those games. That was like the main point of getting consoles. But now, I mean, they're getting up to PC prices, so it's just it's starting to become no point in even having a console anymore.
It's even before talking about a PC as a tool more so than just a gaming system. I mean, what are we all using right now to do this show?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can just do too much more with a PC and still do all the shit you're doing on console.
Yep.
For the same price now.
Right, same price.
Same
Probably
price
a little cheaper sometimes.
It depends, but yeah.
You guys are really convincing me to go get a PC. Like I told myself, I'm gonna build one day once I find the time. But now, like, maybe I should like actually build one sooner than later.
I really didn't look. I was so for consoles for forever, but I have to be honest. Like, when I got my PC, the consoles just became irrelevant.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got my retro console. I got my GameCube and my Nintendo 64 over here. I'll probably play those more than I play on the PlayStation 5.
I still play mine. It's just I remember playing Valheim with Johnny a couple years ago, and it was a PC that I was gifted from a friend. It was older, had like a 570 or something in there, and I'm like, all right, that was a 970. I'm like, all right, but then I'm lagging and I'm jumping around. I'm like, nah. I said I need to go get me something a little bit more powerful, and that was like, all right, 2 screens. I can do this, I can do that, and everything's much more. The word I use is sticky on the PC. Like, it just happens a little faster when I'm playing a game. So I enjoy that for how competitive I am, so I don't have to blame it on lag. Excuse me, sorry. But I might do that every now and then. But moving on.
Wait, can I say one more thing? Sorry.
Go ahead.
So I think the thing we didn't talk about, though, is that we are also assuming that all gamers are the same and all of them want to play like first-person shooters, MMOs. So kind of back to the topic of like, why doesn't Nintendo do it well? Well, they're marketing to like kids, right? Or like the casual gamer. You know, that's why they have these exclusive games, because all they ever need is like a Switch. So for them, it's like, well, why do I need a PC when I can play Mario and do all these like crazy things? Or like I can bring my Switch to whatever. Yeah. So sorry, that's kind of what I wanted to say about that.
No, I think hands down Nintendo does it best. I think their model and who they're marketing to justifies a console, its own console, more so than anybody else's, especially because the console is so family oriented and portable, whereas a PC is not. I think there are ways with like a Steam Deck, that sort of stuff, to make it more portable. But if I were to buy a console, I would buy a Nintendo.
Yeah, it's like Nintendo is the console now, because I mean, Xbox and PlayStation, I mean, let's be real, they're just PCs, right? I mean, I mean, everything is just a PC, but they are more like a standard PC than what a Switch is to PC. It's vastly different. So
it's like a computer that can't do as much versus a Switch, which is it feels like its own contained whole system.
Exactly.
Sorry, Andre.
No, you're good. You're good. This is something I'm gonna let you guys tackle. I know Caroline wants to tackle it because I don't know much about it. The newsletter I read was Final Fantasy is down on the profits. They haven't been doing so well with the 3 games they released. And they just kind of talked about the state of Final Fantasy and how it's not as much popular as it used to be. So can anybody speak on why they would think like Final Fantasy is down? I just learned today that Final Fantasy is not like Gears 1, Gears 2, it's not it doesn't go in any order. It doesn't connect. So Caroline, you can start off. I know you're a big Final Fantasy fan.
Yeah, so I think the appeal of Final Fantasy is that it's not supposed to be connecting. It's just supposed to have different elements to it that goes from like Final Fantasy 1 to like whatever. We're on 16 right now, right? So like the Chocobos, there's always a character named Sid. I forgot some other things. Just like I don't know.
Cactuars, yeah.
Yeah, so it's very intentional in that. I thought about this a little bit. I'm like, I think the biggest is that one, we just finished a topic on exclusivity. Um, so it actually kind of segues into this where like you have also different genres of gaming that's really popular. So online gaming and Final Fantasy, I think with like the exception of I think it's 14 that's
It
the
is.
online Final
Mhm.
Fantasy Online. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you don't like a lot of gamers nowadays are drawn to the online gaming, the PC gaming. I don't think there's any Final Fantasy games that are on PC other than that. So especially if there is like assuming there is a push to that PC game to the online game, you can't do that with Final Fantasy. So, but the appeal for me, obviously, with other than nostalgia, I grew up with it. Um, the appeal for me is like everything kind of outside of it. So there's like the soundtrack, right? As a musician, it's like to me like the appeal and the beauty of the game is the soundtrack as well. My game right now is I'm playing Final Fantasy Rebirth, the second one, right? So I've already put in like 150 hours in it because I'm remembering all the things that I did back in the day. Does it appeal to like Gen Zs? Probably not because they didn't play Final Fantasy 7 back in the day. I did, and that's and then now again it says a lot about my age, but like we got big girl jobs, we got big guy jobs. Like we don't have time to play as much gaming because we all have kids now, or we have we have to be spending time doing other things, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why there's less profit now. They might have to do something where they have to make it back to online gaming to get that market. But again, it's back to the whole idea of like, who's their market? Well, it's my generation, right? Or I guess our generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that if they had released the Final Fantasy remake as a single game, if it was one game instead of three like 100-some-hour games, I probably would have bought a PS5 just to play, or whatever station it released, or whatever PlayStation it released on. I was excited for it until I learned, it's going to be three different games. I immediately lost interest knowing that I would have to pay $180 to like experience this whole one story over the course of several years that it was being released. And it as you said, it came down to time. Like, I mean, I would love to have re-experienced some of that nostalgia, but for the whole thing, the money and time commitment that it would take to get through it, I was turned off.
All right, so now I've been playing Final Fantasy for a long time, right? So this is something that's been an issue, not just recently. Like my personal favorite Final Fantasy is number 10, and even that is kind of like unorthodox. Most people they like 7, they like 9, but if you talk to people like Final Fantasy fans that have been playing it, and Caroline probably knows it, like people have been saying the series has been going downhill since like either 9. Some people will tell you 9. Some people will tell you 10. 11 was also another like online one before 14. So I'm not even gonna count that or really even talk about it because it's just a completely different thing. But 12, a lot of people didn't like 12. Most people will say that it wasn't good. 13, I had a personal thing with 13, but most people will tell you that 13 was not good. 14, again, it's another online thing, but I think it was pretty successful. It's
It
probably their
is.
last. It's probably their last successful thing that they fucking had. And then I mean, 15, I don't know. It's kind of in a middle spot, but
15 I never finished, so it says a lot.
that's what I'm saying. And then even now, 16, I never played it, but I have
16
not.
is over gathering dust right now. My
Yeah, I have
stats.
not heard good things about it. So I mean, I don't know what it is with Square Enix in general because a lot of stuff that they touched lately has not been that great. And I love Square Enix because again, like Final Fantasy is always I've played damn near all of them to completion, and I got a big stack of shit that I don't have done. So that means something. But
Yeah.
I wish I could place my finger on it. But this has been a long like now they're just it's like maybe they're just hitting the bottom because this has gradually been a thing. And I remember back to the days on the internet when I was a kid, they used to have the like gaming like you used to get vote and it was like a little tournament thing, and at the end they would do it like once a year. Then at the end there was always like whatever the game of the year or most popular game or whatever. It was always Final Fantasy VII and Zelda Ocarina of Time. It was always them two games every year. And so I don't know what happened. Like they went from people considering it to be just this is the greatest game ever made in Final Fantasy VII, the original one, to now nobody even wants to touch it anymore. I'm gonna really have to look into it because it's been a long, slow, painful fall for Final Fantasy over the years.
I think they're over. There's a word for it, but they're like using it too much to market. And like everybody, like I wouldn't say it's the greatest Final Fantasy, but I think what it is like there was at that time there was a big shock value because spoiler alert, one of the main characters dies. That's never really happened in like gaming. So like, so people were so engrossed in the story. And I think now that, again, gamers nowadays, it's not really about the story anymore. It's really about the gameplay, how much bang for your buck you get, do Absolutely. I have time to play for it or play it? And I think they're kind of just milking Final Fantasy VII. And again, I'm one of the suckers. I'm sorry. Like I'm probably gonna get the third one. It's fine. I'm going to the Final Fantasy concert. So I think there's still, and I think it's because there's still that fandom, but it's like slowly dwindling. At least like it's not really attracting new gamers into that franchise. It's really more like, oh, people are going to cosplay in the orchestra, which is, again, I'm one of those suckers. But I also realize that I'm not the majority, right?
Right. I mean, it's just crazy. It is crazy to me, man. And it kind of hurts me to see it.
Yeah, it does. I get it.
Like, I'll go back.
I want to first by saying I'm not a Final Fantasy fan. Not saying nothing against it. I just never played it, but I do have friends that played it. But so I'm gonna take it from a different approach of more relatable. I think of it kind of. I think the downfall of Final Fantasy is kind of like, just went back to that capitalism versus art. I feel like it's kind of, to me, I see it as like a church and state, a religion and school type of thing. They need to be separate. I get that gaming is a business, but you have to remember that it was an art first. And it's too many times that I think the people at the top think about the business aspect before they think about the art aspect. Because if you make a quality game, the money's going to come regardless. Like, look at GTA. People have been waiting on GTA for forever. People have been every GTA. It's a masterpiece. It's an icon. The money came. You do your work and it'll come. You know what I'm saying? Final Fantasy, I feel like, how many games did it have? Y'all said 10? I said, I ain't never seen. Pokemon is probably the only other game that I could think that had like 10 damn games. Like,
it's
why
like
are we
16? And some of them had trilogies. So.
But why?
And there's a lot that aren't even numbered. There's probably around like north of 25 or something like that.
And then you said there are 3 parts that I have to separately buy to finish one story. I wish Gears of War would.
They oversaturating the market.
Saturation was all I was thinking.
At least with Pokemon, it's the same concept in a different location. You know what I'm saying? I know when I buy Pokemon, I know what I'm finna do. I'm finna run around a different region with 70 different routes with the different version of the Elite Four. You know what I'm saying? I know what I'm gonna do. Gears of War, I think BJ, you said there's a certain Final Fantasy you never gonna talk about. Me and Andre, we don't talk about that Gears of War over there.
Yeah.
And that's a perfect example of a quality game, a quality IP, and you got too greedy and you made a trash game.
Mm-hmm.
And you tried to run with it. Now we asking for the OG stuff, and you over here drowning in the stock market, and you worry about other stuff. Like, no, go back to the drawing board.
Yeah,
you're losing people.
Yeah,
I think with Final Fantasy, something that you guys mentioned with Nintendo, which is still my favorite company. I think we all agreed on that, like the first or second episode, that Nintendo was our favorite. But when we talk about the Marios and we say they cater to the kids, they're also catering to us because they're catering from our childhood, our inner kid, our inner child. You can't really, like, I love Gears of War. Me and Haku love Gears of War, but ain't no parent buying somebody curb stumping and chainsawing. And like, no, but they're going to pass on that. Whether it's like Mario or Pokemon, they're going to be like, okay, that's aimed towards the kids and aimed towards us. I can see Final Fantasy maybe being like that. I don't know how much accessible Final Fantasy is for kids. You guys will have to tell me that. I'm not sure. I've only played Final Fantasy 7, so.
I mean, it's usually pretty straightforward. I'm sure. It's just, I don't know if a lot of the like dialogue and stuff, I don't know if it would keep their attention span. That would be
I mean, if you put like if a kid can choose between like Minecraft and Fortnite or a Final Fantasy game, there are those first games are just more accessible. Like it's a lot easier to get in and to start having fun than it is in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, like you gotta go through a lot of talking and stuff. They're not gonna want to read all that and even care. You know,
And
like
Final
when can I?
Fantasy's kind of switched over to like the more mature audiences, so they're swearing a little bit.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I might be wrong. I said Final Fantasy 7. Whichever Final Fantasy has Squall on it. That was the
That's
character's
8.
name.
That's
8. There
eight.
you go. My bad. I ain't one of you. You know, so that was the only one I've ever played before.
It's a cool one. His sword has a gun in it. It's so cool.
Yeah,
Gunblade.
they try to do
Yeah,
that. They
yeah.
try to do that again in 13. It wasn't enough to save it though.
Oh, that's true.
All right, this is go ahead.
13 was
Caroline, sorry.
interesting.
Okay, so we got to talk about this. I have to. I'm sorry. I have to. As Johnny said, a little crapping on Sony, not purposely, but I don't know if you guys. Like I said, I listen to all these podcasts. I'm on the little websites almost every day. That's how I pass the time sometimes. And Sony's exclusive, like we just talked about, Concord. It didn't go so well. We'll just say that they canceled the game. They turned it off. They gave out refunds. If you haven't seen Concord, let me make sure it's muted.
Terrible.
If you haven't seen Concord,
Terrible.
here is a little bit of gameplay. A little bit of gameplay. To me, it looks like a little Overwatchy.
Yeah, it's just Overwatch for sure. It's just Overwatch.
A little gameplay, a little Overwatch. Let's see the graphics, kind of how it looks.
It looks very
that kind of looks the same. Thanatos.
The characters looking goofy. I ain't gonna lie.
So, anyways,
it's like a weird Thanatos or like a I don't know Thanatos. It looks like a Marvel character.
I see what you're saying.
Like Thanos. Okay,
Thanos,
yeah.
It looks like off-brand Guardian of the Galaxy.
Off-brand, yeah. There you go.
It was definitely looking bold. I don't know. Hold on.
Defenders of the Outer World.
It's an ugly game. It's an ugly game. And there's a rumor going around that I don't know if it's actually been confirmed yet, but so the game was in development for like 8 years, and the rumor is that they spent like $400 million.
Yeah,
that's correct.
And I don't know if I can believe it because it's so bad. Like where'd the money go? Like
I know where the money went. Andre, show them the trailer that they released a year ago.
No.
Pull up the trailer.
The one the trailer. Okay.
The trailer that told us, hey, this game is coming. I think they released that mug like 2 years ago.
I didn't even know nothing about this game.
Now,
you look at this trailer when he played.
It might be this one. Let me see.
Who's the developer?
Let's find out. Let's see if this is the
trailer.
It might be this one. Let's say a year ago.
Yeah.
It might be this one. Firewalk.
Now you ask me if this gonna sell it.
I ain't even see. Hold on, it's not just a trailer. Oh,
yes,
come on, man. Come on.
You tell me if this gonna sell it. Hold on.
Come on, man. I ain't even see this. Oh wow. That's it. They gotta have some gameplay.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
I see
that was the selling point right there.
Like
the burger?
The burger.
This is it. Oh Lord, I'm done. I gotta get out.
Now you tell me. That's where the money went right there into that jiggly
cheeseburger. That was terrible.
Horrible.
When I saw that trailer, I said, "What is this?"
Again, I didn't even know the game was. I first heard about the game when I was hearing about it that it got took down. So I didn't even know about it while it was alive. Like it was already dead.
Yeah.
That's where the money went.
So I guess the only thing that really makes sense to me is that this game must have been in development before COVID and was like running through COVID while like everyone was like developing from home and stuff like that. And that explains a significant portion of it. But at some point, how do you just not like pull the plug? And like, is it like a sunk cost fallacy where like they were like just continuing to pour into this project? Like who greenlit this? Who said that this is good to release?
A non-gamer.
They probably put too much time into it, man. They had to see what they could get out of it.
Yeah.
One of the comments on the video says it was really meta of them to have no one on the ship in this game. Say no one's playing.
Bruh,
That's cool.
when I saw that trailer, I said, what is the selling point? I'm like, a kitchen? Plants? I'm thinking, see, when I saw it, I was like, is this like a survival space game where, like, you know, you kind of like how No Man's Sky is, kind of, sort of. I'm like, okay, there's plants, there's like a little garden. Am I gonna survive on this ship or something? No people, no audio, just lights and graphics and a burger. That's where the money went. $400 million.
I mean, for me, looking at the game is, I think, a problem. Johnny, I remember you tried to get me to play Warhammer, and I've never played Warhammer, but listening to the other podcasts I listened to, they said they're very clunky and big, like Gears-like.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of comparison of Space Marine 2 to Gears of War, and it looks very much like, because you're playing like over the shoulder, so it's like third person shooting, and you know there's that. So like, I can't claim this with certainty, but like Warhammer 40K were the first people to have chainsaws on their weapons. Just saying. So
and that's what I read. So to me, like, if you're gonna say there's a Gears like out there, there's only gonna be the Warhammer and Gears. Like, but with that looks like that looks like Overwatch. That looks like this new Marvel game. Like, they're oversaturating the market with so many of the same type of games that it's getting redundant. It's getting a little boring for people.
It's like, why should I play this game? I didn't even know. So I asked about the developer. So it's Firewalk. Have they done other games? I'm not familiar with them.
I think I heard that they were on a couple of pretty big titles. I don't remember what it was. Let's see, Firewalk.
Because if like they're kind of like a new indie developer, or if they've had flops before, I mean, you know that says a lot about this game too.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe
it's only Concord.
Yeah, they're a PlayStation studio, but all I see is Concord.
Oh,
that's tough.
That trailer's horrible.
In Bellevue, Washington. I used to live there.
That trailer's horrible. Haku, I ain't know about that one. That trailer's horrible. That trailer's horrible.
Oh shit.
You're on mute.
Who's on mute? Oh, Haku's on mute.
Yeah.
Okay.
My bad. Yeah, that was the worst trailer ever. You could have showed me Clayton Carmine's helmet and just the soundtrack to Gears, and I would have been sold. But that right there, they didn't even have no music.
Just in case.
And I'm a musician. You didn't put no music in the trailer? No drums, no nothing, just sound.
That is pretty insane.
Just in case anyone's wondering, Firewalk is not hiring right now. They have no open jobs.
See, that's bad business right there.
Jeez.
They probably ain't got no money.
Openings.
Y'all cold-blooded, man.
Come on, bro. Come on. That is
Man.
Hey man, they work hard on that. But I don't know. Yeah, you can't just make Overwatch.
Okay, well let's look at this. When did Overwatch come out?
Like 10 years ago, something like that.
So
when this game started developing,
this was like a game that was in the same space as Overwatch before COVID, and it just didn't get. You know what I'm saying? Maybe this could have been the Overwatch before Overwatch, or this could have been the game because it was in development for so long ago.
Mm-hmm.
But then
you know what I'm saying?
Also, this game was $40. Like, why would you pay $40 to play off-brand Overwatch when you could play regular Overwatch for free?
Well, that's what when I listen and I'm playing these games, and you got Apex and you got PUBG and you got Warzone. They all bringing something in, because I like Apex better than like Warzone. They're getting you in with something new or something different. And the little
Apex
Marvel,
to be different.
The Marvel Rivals that's coming out is Overwatch, but I feel like a lot of people gonna play that because you can be Captain America, you can be Thor, you can
they're gonna get over on the Marvel.
Yeah.
Sure.
So Concord, I mean, it looks like that was just another. I don't know any of them characters.
They're not memorable. That was the point.
And they're ugly. Like,
they didn't look like they didn't look like you wanted to know who they were. Like,
it's like,
bruh,
why?
I didn't play the game, but the story told you these characters were not memorable. They ain't even like characters would be popping up in dialogue. Like, where does dude come from? Like, what is his backstory? There was none of that.
The first time I heard about Concord was it was a YouTube video that some guy made. Maybe I should probably look it up and shout him out. But he is a game designer, and he was comparing like Overwatch design characters to characters in Concord, and like me not knowing anything about design, it was really fascinating to see him describe how bad it actually was. And I was like, oh, so like when you look at the comparison of these characters, you can see how just no, they don't work. But he really broke it down and explained like how this is really like shabby work. Let me see if I can pull it up just to share the.
And has anyone here played Concord? I know we got a couple of PS5, you know.
It was only up for like a week. You can't play it
yeah.
anymore. Yeah.
I didn't know about it until you told me that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm like, what?
I said I didn't hear about it till after it already died, and then I looked into it. Well, I mean, I heard the memes, but I didn't know anything about it.
Where's those memes?
Memes of the game dying.
Yeah, Sun Grand Studios. That guy did a comparison. I thought it was really valuable and interesting. If you guys are curious about character design and why it was so trash, I would recommend checking out that video.
Okay. This next topic is going to be all personal feelings or whatever like that. I'm interested to hear because mine is very old. What is the hardest game you've played? The most difficult game you've played? It don't necessarily have to have pissed you. Maybe it did piss you off, but it was just hard to complete, hard to beat. I want to start off with BJ on this one.
The hardest game I played?
Hardest game you played.
To be honest, it's hard to like really just pinpoint just that one for me. So I had to go back and like there was this one game I played, and I guess you could kind of describe it as like a bullet hell game. I can't remember I think it was on PS3 when I played it, but you can currently play it on PC and just everywhere. It was called Fury. It's like you play as a samurai guy. You have to fight. It's kind of like a boss rush thing almost. You have to go through and fight different bosses, and they have like patterns. You have to be able to dodge their like attack patterns and shit, and then get in to attack them.
What did you say the name was?
Fury, Furi.
Okay.
And that shit. It was fun, but it was difficult, man. I could think of me having to fight the same boss like 30 times in a row before I could beat it. Like it was really difficult, and then I did eventually beat it, but there was like an after boss that you could do. I never beat him. It was too difficult. I kind of almost want to go back to it just because of that, but. Actually, I might have it on my. I might have to look on my PlayStation.
Is this it right here? Does it look like it? Okay.
Yeah, that is it for sure.
It look kind of sweet. I like that.
Yeah. Right. It's like it's kind of and it's like each boss is different. They have one where it's like a bunch of snipers everywhere.
Looks like like similar to Hades, maybe, like a predecessor to Hades.
Yeah, it's definitely similar to that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like really like it's mostly like it's like all bosses though. You know what I'm saying? It's not like really a stage. Like you just go from one boss to the next type of thing. But yeah, that was when I read that was one of the games that stuck in my mind as just one of the more difficult games that I played.
Who's next? Who wants to go next? Tackle it.
It's sort of a hard question to answer for me because there are games that like I feel like I just am not very good at that might not be as hard for the people. So I guess a game that comes to mind is like the Dark Souls series. Dark Souls 1 was like a very punishing experience for me, but like eventually you get it and you recognize that like the difficulty is part of the experience. So it's tough for me to really think about what I'm confident answering because some games are like so difficult that I like put them down, but there are other games where I liked them enough to really struggle through them and had like a harder time overall, but still like them enough to finish. I guess the game that stands out most to me, hardest one that I like still enjoyed and those suffered through would be Halo 2 co-op on Legendary, which was that changes a person, man. Because so Halo 1 Legendary was bad enough. But Halo 2 Legendary, if either one of you died, it reset you guys back to the previous.
I love that.
Yeah. So that was
I could imagine.
That was painful. You learn new things about the relationship between you and whoever you're playing with.
Yeah. I could 100%. I can 100% imagine. Because that's how me and my boy beat Halo 3 on Legendary. Was one of us just stood back.
Right.
The other guy ran out like throwing grenades and shit and just doing whatever.
Exactly.
So
And
yeah.
you couldn't do that in 2. Halo 2 is the only one in the series where it didn't allow that. So
yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Mhm.
What about you, Caroline?
I like everybody said so far, like you have to, I can't really pinpoint one. I think you alluded to, like, you know, an older game. Like for me, there's like the older game and there's like the more recent game. So the older game for me was like OG Super Mario Land, and I just always remember how I've never actually beaten the game. I don't know. Like I've never, like, I had a desire to. At the same time, I just remember the frustrations as a little kid of like, I'm never gonna beat Bowser in like the last stage or whatever. So, and then more recently, I think, I don't know who mentioned Hades. Hades was actually pretty hard, especially towards the beginning. And I think for me, it was just the frustration of like, you have to die every single time, otherwise you can't beat the game. And oh yeah, by the way, it is super hard about it. And again, just as a completionist, like, I have to get all the boons and I have to get like, you know, all the, oh man. But anyways, I had to, it's that. And Metroid Dread. So again, I don't know how much you guys play Nintendo. I'm really big into Nintendo. It was a very short game, and I think a lot of the complaints from people who played it was that it was a $60 game and you really just put in like 20 hours to finish it, like really finish it. But again, it's like one of those games where like, so there's like an imposter Samus and she would kill you in like one shot. So it's like one of those games where like you have to like face her and you know, it's like a powered up, you know, Samus of like, you know, faster than you. You have to run away from her, like that type of thing. So
was Dread like a 3-dimensional Metroid like Prime was, or was it a 2-dimensional side scroller?
It's a 2-dimensional Metroidvania type of
Okay.
game, yeah. So Hollow Knight was also really, I remember Hollow Knight being really difficult too. Also Metroidvania. Not just to finish the game, but again, trying to complete the game, and then you go to hard mode and you're like, okay, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I didn't, you know, after a certain point, like you just have to like give up, move on to the next game, which is really hard for me.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You can call me a kid for this one. It's a toss-up between Jak and Daxter. Can't remember which one. And Spyro the Dragon, the original one, where you had to find all them damn eggs. But when I tell you that stuff pissed me off, because there was no map to tell you where these eggs were. There was these bosses where it was in a time where if you ran off the edge of the map, you would die. There was no invisible walls. So like, let's say you're trying to head bash one of the enemies and he move and you already full sprint, you off the map.
You're bringing back memories too, man. Bringing back bad memories. Yeah.
So Spyro is like, and bro, again, finding them eggs was like, that was the premise of the game, because it was all your siblings, because I think they stole all your siblings. They came in the night and stole them. But it was just like, there is no map. The dialogue did not help you. You just roaming around. You just out here. You don't know what's going on. Then you magically find an egg. You're like, yes. And then you go back and you try to scour every corner. This is where you know, I'm a completionist in the sense of I'm not going to go down the main route. I'm gonna go to every nook and cranny of the map before I go down the main path. Yeah. And I think it stemmed from trauma of me not missing one of those eggs in the past. Because you couldn't even progress the story till you get to checkpoints. Like you say, you couldn't get to the next dialogue till you get like 25. You know what I'm saying? So it just pissed me off.
Okay. Yeah. Spyro. I ain't played that in a minute.
Mine trilogy.
Mine is old school. I think y'all found out in a couple of the other episodes. I got some pretty old school games. I'm not sure if you guys ever played Aladdin or Lion King. Then it's them games hard as hell, bro.
On the Sega Genesis,
yeah. Some of them games are hard as hell. But more recent, those are some of the old ones. And Home Alone for the SNES. That was pretty hard. But more recent, and it pissed me off because this game tells me how many times this killed you and how many times you died. But Cuphead is a hard game. Cuphead is just a hard game. It's just a hard game.
Let me tell you something. Cuphead, yeah. I've screamed at my TV.
Yeah, don't worry.
Screamed.
I did more than that, but we ain't gonna talk about that on this episode, all right?
Oh my God.
Cuphead
we gotta have a whole other conversation.
Have anybody here played Cuphead other than me and him?
I've never played it, but I watch speedruns of it all the time. It's fascinating.
So don't watch the speed run. Go watch an average person.
Say it don't do it no justice.
No, none
You
at
gonna
all.
think it's you gonna think it's easy.
Boy, Cuphead gives Dark Souls and Elden Ring a run for its money.
Also,
because the bosses in there will laugh at you for dying.
Yeah.
And then here's the worst part. Here's the worst part. It'll show you a progression bar of how far you got, just to let you know how pissed off you finna be.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And then, Andre, you know, if you go to the pond on I think aisle 2, it tell you how many times you died.
That's what I just said.
Bro, I said, who keep a track?
The game is hard as man. I can't. I'm getting mad right now. Let me stop talking about this damn game.
I got one. Have y'all seen it's a game, I think it came on PlayStation. It's called Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. That was a game that pissed me off. Let me see.
That ain't the cat, is that the cat?
It's like a Sphinx. Yeah, I think he kind of has cat-like features.
Yeah,
when he has a mummy partner. You could probably share it faster than me. Let me tell you something. That game right there.
1 second.
Oh, there's that dog again. No.
This ain't the game I'm talking about.
No, it's called Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy.
Yeah, I think I just found it. But this ain't the one I was talking about. Let's see.
That game.
This right here?
Yes, bro. Oh my God.
I mean, it's jigging. Look.
And the graphics, bro. Trying to grab walls in that game was pissing me off.
What is that? Is this PS1, PS2?
I think this PS2.
Okay.
The graphics were so janky, but it's just like that map specifically. Oh my God. Because you fall into the water and you damn near die because there's fish in there that will eat you. Until you get to a certain point to where you're fine.
I ain't never heard of this one.
Bro, that game right there.
Yeah, the Home Alone on, I believe it was SNES. It could have been Sega, but Home Alone playing as Kevin and trying to get Marv. Man.
Home Alone had a game?
Yes, bro. I told you. I played a lot of games in my lifetime, man. Home Alone. It was hard. You had to shoot like a little rocket launcher with a boxing glove on front. And if you didn't, then you had to start the whole level over. It was bad. I found out I was a raging gamer then when I was little. I found out that. So, all right. Let me start this video.
I wanted to do it before the dog was barking, but I wanted to throw an honorable mention into all of the classic Mega Man.
Okay.
That junk is ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Even like the new Mega Man is pretty intense. Now that you mentioned that. Oh my God. Yeah.
Mega Man
2 is ridiculous, man. And I've been playing them just on a little, I don't know if they're remastered, but just a little Mega Man collection. I've been playing them on there. That junk is ridiculous, man. You want to talk about rage? You don't want to see me playing that game, bro. Seriously.
Mega Man X, man, my personal favorite.
It's a good one.
Mega Man 2.
Yep.
I'm gonna have to play. I don't think I've ever played a Mega Man, so I'm gonna have to test it out.
The classic ones are stupid, bro.
They're almost impossible. I think Mega Man 4 is the only one that I actually really finished, actually got through the boss and can consistently beat. But 3 and 2, yeah, they're notorious for being ridiculously.
2 is terrible, bro. It's like you dots. It's like some BS. That's why you would hate it because it's like because it's an old game. So you sliding around. You think you're gonna jump perfectly, then you slide off the platform, or it's like you just mistime something because it looks weird. It's frustrating. It is frustrating, man.
Music from X is pretty good too.
Yeah, shit. All the music is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, another honorable mention. I'm sure most people played Mike Tyson Punch Out. But
I love Punch Out.
Once you get to a couple of those levels, man, they get a little bit
I
love
love
hard.
Punch Out, bro. It's one of my favorite games, bro. The was on Super Nintendo. That one too. Super Punch Out. Both of
Uh-huh.
those.
Yeah.
I used to play the shit out of Super Punch Out, boy. I never finished it, but
There are people who play that game blindfolded now. And
crazy.
Punch Out?
Yeah, Punch Out.
Oh, wow.
And there's people who will play. They'll have two people playing on the controller, and one person will do the arrows, the other person will do the buttons, and they'll both be playing blindfolded, and they'll beat it without taking a hit. So
that's crazy. That's a lot of
crazy.
reps.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, video game 21 questions, man. I want y'all to win. This is I try to pick. I want y'all to win. So can y'all do me some justice, man? Y'all got me looking bad out here.
We got another brain on the case this time.
mm-hmm.
Another brain on the case.
So this is I channeled. I was talking to the kids at school about some games. We were talking because I'm doing a Minecraft club. We were talking about some games, and they mentioned a couple games that they play. So this is one.
Okay, so these are
Gen Z. Got it.
yeah.
So
these are Gen Alpha kids now, right? These are
technically,
I think so.
Somewhat late Gen Z, early Alpha.
And don't be fooled. I mean, not to throw y'all up. Don't be fooled, because some of these guys are like, I'm like, you play Pokemon Silver? You would not expect these guys now to have played that. I'm like, what? So I'm just throwing it out there. Don't be fooled. But anyways, let the questioning begin. 21 questions.
Okay.
All right, Caroline, you gonna go ahead and go first. I'll throw you out there.
Is it multi-platform?
Yes.
Okay. It's multi-platform.
Is it a shooter?
A shooter? No.
He gonna be like, it got shooter elements.
I'm just on here.
Oh,
I was gonna say that, but keep going. Hey, keep going.
That's not the premise.
It's not a shooter, bro. Multi-platform.
Is it? Oh, go ahead.
Is it multiplayer?
They do.
Like
yes.
Okay. This is all. It can't never just be.
It's never just yes or no. It's like,
because we asking the juicy questions here.
Because like if it let's just say God of War. If God of War had a multiplayer mode, yes, it has a multiplayer mode, but is that the main focus of the game?
Right.
So sometimes I got to think about it first. So go ahead, my bad.
All right.
So the answer?
Yes, it's multiplayer.
Okay.
Is this on mobile?
No.
Okay.
Have we mentioned it so far today?
No. That's 5.
Dang.
Was it originally an exclusive?
Well, she asked if it was multi. Was it originally exclusive? No. I'm pretty sure no.
Okay. I got one. Is it like? Does it have online capabilities? Like, do you play online?
Well, they said yes.
Okay.
So
we know it's something a little bit newer, at least.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true because, if it's a fighting game, it started out as like a non-online game that's eventually online. So it could be that.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. Good point.
So it's not a shooter. Do you build things in the game? Like, is building a core feature?
No.
Okay, so that's no Minecraft, no Fortnite.
Correct. Well, the old Fortnite or the new Fortnite?
Well, is it a fighting game? Because it's multiplayer.
No.
Okay.
Multi-platform. Goddamn.
How many questions we got?
You're at 9. You're at 9 right now.
Goddamn.
That wasn't one of the questions, by the way.
Oh, that was a question. Let me know.
That's crazy.
How many questions toward? No.
It's like, how about now?
Hmm. Can you swap characters in the game?
I'm pretty sure no. I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
That's 10.
Okay.
11 left. Or
So
10
no-
left, and I guess.
No building, no shooting.
Multi-platform
The platform
has
multiplayer.
multiplayer aspects.
It's not a fighter. We said it wasn't. It was not,
Not a fighter.
Game? Okay.
Fuck.
I highly doubt it's a racing game. These kids probably don't know what that is.
I was wondering if it was a sports game.
It ain't Forza.
Well, you want to ask that question? Do these kids even play sports games anymore?
Yes,
Is it
2K,
is
man.
it a
2K.
sports?
Okay.
What did you say, Johnny? Sorry.
Is it a sports game? Like,
No.
is it? Okay.
No.
So,
That includes motorsports, by the way. It is also.
Whoa. No, it ain't a sports game.
it's bad here.
But they do,
Sports.
just for future reference, they do consider a sports game and a racing game. They put those in two categories.
Hey man, if you go down to
I agree with you.
Go down to the Michigan International School and tell them they're not watching a sport, you're not going to come out of there alive.
Man.
Are there lead characters?
Are there lead characters? Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
So this tells us that
Probably
Andre has
RPG
not
like.
played this game. Okay.
that's crazy.
I actually have. I just don't know much about it.
Damn. So it didn't appeal to him.
It's not Diablo.
Hold on. Oh, Diablo. Oh, Diablo. We got lead characters. So it's probably RPG. I mean,
But that's multiplayer. Can you do multiplayer in RPG? I don't know.
some of them, yeah. See, I feel like I kind of have an idea of what it is
What do you
now,
think it'd be
but
like?
I could be very wrong.
Is a guess considered a question?
I think I feel like
Before
I
the
know
action?
what it is, just for unfair reasons, kind of.
Why did I have it up when we was doing the video?
No. I could be completely wrong.
What do you think of BJ?
What am I thinking? Like, you want me to say the name of it? That if I just say what I think it is, that don't count, right?
Right.
No,
'cause you
that don't
didn't-
count.
Because
I think
you
it's-
didn't
I
say,
think it-
is it?
For some reason, I just get the feeling like it's like Baldur's Gate or something.
Ooh,
Just because he just said he played it, but he don't know that much about it.
huh?
And then it's a game with lead characters that's also multiplayer because you can play Baldur's Gate multiplayer.
Okay.
Platform.
But I don't know if it's that or not.
Okay, we're gonna
That's
let
just
that
the
be
thought
like
that I had.
our final, you know what I'm saying, answer if we ain't got
Writing it
nothing.
right down.
If we can't come up with nothing better, then that's what I feel like it is.
Are
I'm
there
sure-
dragons in the game?
Unless, I mean, yeah, we can start doing that if you want.
Yeah.
He
Is
said,
that a
oh,
question?
Does the game have dragons in it?
No.
Okay,
Okay,
maybe it's
well,
not.
it's not that.
Yeah, well, all right, that was a good question to get that out the way.
Right.
It was just me making assumptions just based on like the conversation, pretty much.
That
Like not really like getting clues.
any
from
game
it.
with a dragon in it is out.
Yeah.
That's a lot of games, actually.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
especially for these kids.
And now for the lead characters and multiplayer.
Okay. Oh, we said it has online capabilities, right?
Yes.
Does this game have cryptocurrency? Like, Mom, I need Robux type like vibes. Does this have micro?
I'm pretty sure no. I'm not one. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. This doesn't
Okay.
seem like that kind.
Okay.
You mean like microtransactions?
Yeah.
Currency?
Like,
Okay.
Mom, can I get your credit card? You know, that's all about these games.
To get that DLC.
Right. Skins.
Right.
Golly. We're gonna get this.
Are we? I don't feel close.
Hey, I ain't me either. I ain't gonna lie.
How many questions are we at, Andre? We're making better time
14,
this time.
14. Yeah, but don't make better time at the expense of not getting it. It's something I usually don't do. Remember, I told y'all narrow down console, narrow down year frame, some of that stuff, you know.
What's multi-platform?
But I mean, you can narrow down 1987 and 1990, or 2000, 2010-ish.
No, I don't want to do that.
That's why I say like, if I like, because how she mentioned it could have been a game that once had online, but then don't know more. Like, I feel like if I'm asking a question, it should be like specific to this very specific game. So like if it was, let's just use if it was Street Fighter 2, then it would be no. But if it was Street Fighter 6, then it would be yes.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Uh-huh.
You know, it's
Correct.
not a
Okay.
fighting game.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying like that. I just use that as an example.
Is it a game in a series? Like, are there?
I was just
multiple
gonna ask that.
versions? Yeah.
Yes, sir. That's a great question. Yes.
Oh.
15 questions.
Series.
Okay.
Okay.
You got 5 questions left, and then the 21st is your guess.
Okay.
Well, we need a new guess. Because Baldur's Gate ain't it.
Yeah, I know that. I thought I had something again.
Is this a game y'all would have played?
Look,
This is the game we would have played.
but see the diversity in this chat right now is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. We got a lot of people in here who do the same. I might be the odd one out. I mean, you and Caroline both like doing like the concert thing that she's talking about. BJ and Caroline got a whole bunch of things in common.
yeah, Andre likes solicited stress.
Yeah, that's right.
You like voluntary stress.
15. We're at 15 right now.
Okay. Okay. Did this game come out before the birth of most of these children that are playing it?
You gotta give me a year. You can't.
Okay.
You
Okay.
gotta
So
be
like
specific.
your oldest kid you teach are probably like 10, 11. So did this game come out before 2016?
Yes,
Okay.
it did. See, now then that question right there can help you narrow down. It's not on a newer console, it can help you
Yeah.
narrow down some.
So it's not on Xbox. What?
Or it
One maybe?
didn't originally come out on those, but
Oh well.
I digress.
Why did so? Somebody said Diablo, and then they said no. Why not Diablo?
Does Diablo have dragons?
Because there wasn't a lead
Wait.
main character in Diablo.
That's
That's
right.
what I
Yeah, that's right.
asked.
Yeah,
Diablo has microtransactions, don't it?
it does. Now it does. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no. That
Okay.
ruled that out.
Let's see.
Do these kids? Can these kids?
We
are
said
these
it's not
kids
like a
capable?
gun, like it's nobody would.
You cut out. What'd you say? Oh,
What did you say, Caroline? You cut out there for a second.
oh no.
Sorry. We said that there's no guns in this game, or like it's not a shooter. Did we?
He
was
said
it
it's
something
not
along
a
those lines?
shooter, which we've been burned before in the past on answers like that.
Yeah, so keep that in mind because I said it's not a shooter. That's all I said.
But it might have shooting elements.
Right. Okay.
So let's see.
System publisher, is the main character a human or not? Whole bunch of
Beat you over there stumped, man.
I'm really trying to think of a good question, bro.
Right.
So,
No, for
before
real.
2016, lead characters multiplayer. So like I'm stuck on that part.
Could a question? Well, it's multi-platform, so I guess. I wish we could.
Not a shooter.
So here's my thought. So he's like, it's not a shooter, but he's kind of like not a shooter, but maybe there are guns in it. So like I'm thinking like GTA or like Metal Gear Solid or something along those lines, right? So it's like, is that technically a shooter?
Now,
I kind of had a thought about GTA also. So Metal Gear Solid, I don't think is multiplayer.
And just think, like Mega Man's not a
that's
shooter, but he shoots stuff out of his arm.
Well, we mentioned GTA earlier in the show, and he said it wasn't anything we mentioned earlier.
We did mention GTA. That's true.
yeah.
Okay.
See, when she said multi-platform, 2 platforms could be multi, not the whole. You know what I'm saying? So as long as this thing is on Steam Deck and DS, we're screwed up.
But you just asked a question about 20 something, so Steam Deck wasn't out then.
I mean, but you get what I mean. Like if it was
Yeah,
on a GameCube and NES, it just happened to be. Okay. Did we said it's online, right? Or did we say it's multiplayer?
Online
It
capabilities.
is online.
Okay. It's online. What is
Multiplayer.
online? What
Not
is
a fighter, not a
multi-platform?
shooter.
What is
Multiplayer.
multi-platform that
Not
is
sports.
online before
Not sports.
2016? Is that even a lot of games?
I'm just trying to think of what
No
was
dragons. No dragons. In the
Okay,
game.
wait.
Part of a
Multi-platform. But let me ask this question: is it cross-platform? Because just because it's multi, don't mean it's cross.
Like, can you play it? Like, can you play it PS5 versus Xbox One? You mean like that?
Like together.
Oh, together.
Yeah, cross-platform. Like meaning like if I have one console, you have a different one.
Yeah. I don't think so. I'm gonna say no. I don't think so.
So it's just a port. It's not a. Okay. Because I don't even think cross-platform was really a heavy before 2016 for real.
Now we got time now.
That's like 18 questions.
17.
See.
Okay.
This man here.
We
I
getting
gave
close.
y'all hints. I said narrow down years, console.
But see, when you say multi-platform, like how would a question?
No,
Did
it's
this
before
originally
2016.
come out on the
Oh,
Super Nintendo? Did this originally
This
come
one.
out in arcade? You know.
that has
Yeah,
stumped us
that's
many
kind
times.
of how we did before.
Well, it's not a fighter, not a sports game.
I mean, if it's online before 2016, I feel like
It's a series.
it's not gonna be like on the Super Nintendo or nothing like that.
So it's probably an Xbox or a Sony game. Do we want to narrow that down?
Probably.
Well, it's multi-platform, so.
But I'm saying like
It can be both of them.
original release.
I think we already asked if it was originally exclusive, and the answer was no.
Oh, damn. So right, that was my question actually.
Gosh.
What about Pokemon? Pokemon would be an option, right?
I think
But-
it's Nintendo.
Oh, we already mentioned it though.
That's not multiplayer.
And
Well, yeah, we
mentioned
did
it.
mention it too.
Yeah.
And there are no shooting elements in
And there's a
Pokemon.
dragon. And there's multiple
Oh,
dragons.
there's a dragon.
Multiple dragons.
No dragon.
Right.
There's a dragon type. Same subcategory.
No dragons. Multiplayer lead characters.
Golly.
Sometimes they may ask, "Is this a critically acclaimed game? Like a game you guys would know?" That could be a question. I'm just throwing out all kind of hints. I'm
There's
trying.
one that we normally would ask, like,
I'm
or at
trying.
least like, would people recognize it or whatever?
With the average person, if I held up a picture,
Yeah, that is a
I mean,
good
it's not a bad
used that
question.
We've
We
used
have.
that question
Not a bad one.
before 2016.
Would
Clearly,
you?
huh?
Are you asking a question or no?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Just making sure.
So it's a series, but is it only like a 3-game series? I don't know. Want to ask?
It's like I have
Remember,
some
your
thoughts,
question
but
had to be yes or no. I can't.
I just don't think any of the stuff I'm thinking of is multiplayer. That's the only thing that's like sticking me.
You know, I'm gonna be mad if I actually played this game.
I want to say it,
Probably
but
have.
I can't. So I won't say it.
You probably have, man. if I had
I
to
probably
guess.
have. If these kids played it, and it's before 2016.
Multi-platform.
This is not a good question, so I'm not gonna answer. That'd be a burner question, literally, because.
So we don't even really know what you do in the game yet. Like, can we?
That's true.
Is
Can
it
we
a
narrow that down
It's not
anywhere?
yeah? Let's
fighting.
narrow. Yeah.
It's multiplayer.
Sounds like there are shooting elements.
Maybe. Knowing these kids, they're gonna have a gun in that game. Some kind of shooting element.
Okay, so I mean, I have an idea for a question. I don't know if it's a good one.
What you got, PJ?
Say it as a statement.
Because I'm thinking, like, because the multiplayer part is just what's sticking me right now. So I
Yeah.
kind of want to get clarification if it's like PvP type of multiplayer or is it cooperative?
That's a good
multiplayer?
question. Not a bad question. Yeah.
Okay, so is
Okay,
it like PvP multiplayer or is it like co-op?
Both.
Yes or no question? Oh, both.
Both.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say yes. So yes.
Both.
I mean, that's even more of a hint, but yes, that's yes. 18
I got
questions.
like some little weird games in my head that is probably not.
Did we ask if it's an RPG game?
I don't think we did.
Y'all have not narrowed genre down yet.
No, we asked a couple
Well, that
different
is
ones,
not
but it was all no.
We,
I don't know why. Like a game like Castle Crashers is in my head for some reason.
You'd be surprised.
It's kind of both because you co-op through the level and then you have to fight at the end of the level over the princess.
So let's try to narrow down the genre. Maybe that could help us.
Who is that cheating? I heard somebody typing. I heard.
Definitely not typing.
I don't know, I'm playing.
not
it's not a fighting game. We know it's not a sports game.
No, it's not a shooter game,
It's not
specifically
a shooter. It's not an FPS. I'm assuming shooter meaning FPS.
I mean, the only thing left is like adventure or action.
Is it?
Like,
You want to ask that question?
Well,
what are we at? 18, 19?
We're at like 19.
18.
18.
Oh.
Got two more.
Golly.
Ask that question.
And sorry, so this Andre, this is not a real question, but something that I think you said. You said this is a game that one of your students has been playing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that they mentioned, but they play. I mean, they play GTA as well. So I mean,
of course. Gone are the days where you need your parent to buy a game.
All right, well, they used to tell you cannot play that. It's not playing. I ain't played that.
So it's cooperative and PvP.
I have a burner question, but I don't think this would help. So I'm gonna just wait.
You should ask the last question you was thinking about.
Huh?
Go ahead.
The last question I was thinking about. Let me see if I remember. I think I threw it in the trash.
I know you were talking about asking if people recognize the character or whatever.
Oh well, yeah.
That.
I mean,
don't ask that.
No, because that's gonna be automatic.
That's gonna be a no. Well, we just got
we got a free one right there.
Oh,
that question has not helped us in the past.
It is not.
It did not help us with Bomberman because the average person.
Right? Oh my God! Not the Bomberman. I feel like people recognize Bomberman.
I would recognize.
Wait, hold on. You gotta remember us. Well, we recognize Joel and whatever Ellie from Last of Us. Yes, with the regular people.
No,
maybe they done remade the game about 5 times.
Zombie killing is not a core feature of the game for Last of Us. What?
They were monsters. I'm just going by what
are you talking about?
Well, Wikipedia tells me, man.
That's funny.
Oh man, 2 questions. Oh my God.
Throw something out, man. I gotta throw a Hail Mary.
Man, come on, man. Come on, BJ. What was the question you was gonna ask, man?
I mean, I asked the one. I feel like it almost. I mean, knowing that it's both seems like it's helpful, but it doesn't seem like it gave me any more ideas. I don't know why I'm just stuck on Castle Crashers now.
Is there PvP Crashers?
It's like I said, you go through the level together, but then at the end you have to fight over like who gets the princess at the end of the level.
There's got to be a dragon in Castle Crashers, though, right?
There probably is. Yeah. I don't know why though. Like I can't think of any other game that would technically be both of those things with no shoot. Well, I mean, it has shooting elements, but it's not necessarily a shooter.
I mean, let's say just unless it's like For Honor and it's medieval.
Oh,
wait a minute.
That could be one.
Wait a minute.
Look, is it?
Hold on. Yeah, there's no dragons.
Or like there definitely can't be Dragon Age. Dragon Age.
There's both collaborative and competitive play.
All right, there's our scapegoat answer.
I don't hate that answer. Well, no, there's only one game in the series though. For Honor, there's only one game.
Dang.
Oh yeah, that's the same thing.
They talking a lot, but they ain't coming up with no questions. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
We're gonna cut this short.
Do we want to ask if it's like medieval themed? Like that might help with a lot of games.
What if it's like StarCraft? Like it's
that would be interesting. If it was StarCraft, I'd be mad. But then we didn't really ask the questions to get.
I don't think there are dragons in StarCraft.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Is it multi-platform?
Features. I think it's only on PC actually
Oh.
that I know of. I don't think it's on anything else.
Man, I ain't got.
I was wondering about Civ actually.
You know what? Now that I thought about it,
And the
'cause
kids
there's
ain't
more
gonna
than
play
one.
Civ, boy.
that was the thing that convinced me
Hey,
most of it was
But
like,
he did say, don't think of these kids in their age with these games.
and I know we've
Yeah,
talked
true.
about Civ a lot, and that Andre has been talking about Civ at previous times. Thinking
Knowing
about starting
Andre,
to play.
it's gonna be Civ 3 instead of Civ 6, and we're gonna get it wrong.
You had to narrow it down. Hey.
Well, I think the only Civ that is multi-platform is Civ 6. I think the rest are PC exclusive.
Most.
But
Man.
I'd be impressed if a 10 or 11-year-old was playing Civ and having
What
a
we
good
said
time.
before 2016.
That's what I'm saying.
It was released before 2016.
That's right. Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, it's not a shooting game. Huh? So maybe it's something.
Man, look.
Maybe it's something that you wouldn't,
2 questions and a
like
guess.
your kids wouldn't be playing that game. But somebody else's kids is going. You know what I'm saying?
See,
Like a
that's
GTA. But
geared to what my burner question was, but it ain't gonna help.
that could be the one.
I've got a question that might not.
Man, just throw it out there, bro. At this
Is there a competitive scene for this game?
No.
That's a good one.
No, he said.
He said no.
Okay.
So it's not like
It's not esports or anything like that.
Of course not.
You guys got one more question and a guess.
All right. Well, before we ask this last question, do we even have a burner answer?
I don't think so.
Hold on. What about there's a before 2016. Gosh.
Yeah.
It was like Splatoon or whatever. I guess that'd be a shooter though, right?
Is that before?
Yeah, but it's not multi-platform.
Yeah, it's only on Nintendo.
Okay.
Did it do better than Concord? No,
Yes.
that is not the question. No, that is not the question. Clearly.
All right.
Man, that's crazy.
Andre's gonna be upset we did not get this.
I actually am kind of upset
super
right
upset.
Not even an inkling of even like.
We I think this is probably the worst we did since Paperboy when y'all did that one.
Well, we said it, but we didn't actually say it.
I think everyone so far we've at least said the game, right?
No, I think the last one we didn't even say it.
Oh yeah,
no, the last one we did say Last of Us.
Oh,
no, that
yeah,
was Bomberman.
Nobody said Bomberman. I think Johnny said Last of Us. I said Paperboy, and then I think Johnny said Last of Us the last time, and then Bomberman. None. We didn't even get close.
What about like music games, like Guitar Hero or something? Do we rule that out?
But that's not multi-plat. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Never mind.
On one of the stages in Guitar
like
Hero,
Rock Band.
There's a dragon on one of the stages in Guitar Hero.
That's an animatronic.
That is only one of the things, though. So.
You shoot notes on the staff.
Will like Andre be upset if we didn't guess this game?
Yeah,
I'm gonna be upset because it's probably something that we've
all played in our backlog right now. We all have.
I don't even have an inkling of an idea, so I'm just like, Jesus, help me.
Well, we know it's not Splatoon because you don't have an inkling. So,
come on, bro.
I mean, the kids will know what it is, right? You don't know what Rock Band or Guitar.
Yeah. These kids would, but they would probably know Rock Smith.
Go ahead. One question and a guess.
Man, look. I'm gonna just.
We didn't narrow down the genre, did we?
We didn't
even know it.
We tried.
It's probably action adventure, which is
that's
like
the question I was telling y'all to ask. That's what a BJ asked.
BJ
was going to ask it, but then he didn't ask it. So,
well, we can use our last question for that. We can use our last question to narrow down the genre.
Go ahead, Johnny.
Caroline, did you have a thought as to?
That's my only question. Is it a music? Is it a music game? I'm not even sure what they're called. Because like if
rhythm
it's not
games.
I mean, like, do we really know for sure it's action adventure? And I'm like, well,
we don't.
We don't.
Could say what I see on the other one is you could say is it racing, sports, or music?
We already did that.
You know, that's one thing.
No, I'm saying you can add like a couple in there. You can add
that's one thing we never do that we need to start doing after this one.
Because
we need to start like asking. I feel like it's cheating to ask more than one. We need to just do it.
You can't ask like 7, but 2 or 3. Yeah.
We always just ask one.
I
So
think
that's one
that's
thing we
because
should change.
in the past I've asked action adventure, and typically those are tied together most of the time.
Yeah, that's
So
like one
sometimes
time.
people, yeah, technically, yeah, because
So wait, what were the 19 questions already asked? Did you write that down?
she did not.
Oh,
He did not
goodness.
write that down.
Yeah, apparently, unfortunately, it's tasked on us to remember all of it.
Mhm.
We might have to start writing them too, man.
We need a scribe.
We got to come up with a better strategy for next
I
time.
mean, there are no
man.
dragons in Guitar Hero.
What's question 20? Go ahead, guys.
Yeah,
Genre.
Okay, is it rhythm, action, adventure, or
Yes.
RPG games?
Yes.
It's
Damn,
probably
but
action adventure. I feel like.
You know.
Last question is a guess.
But see, that sucks though, because now we still got like 3 different genres it could potentially be.
all
Do we
right,
all
man.
get one
That was a
guess,
trick
or is it
question.
just one guess for all 4 of us?
One
Definitely
guess.
not.
We have to come together to one consensus. As a group.
Right, he's not that
It's a
generous.
team sport, all right?
Team sport.
All right, Caroline said Guitar Hero. I'm not mad at that answer.
I feel like it's definitely action adventure,
Well,
but I just don't know what.
since this question don't count, just well, never mind.
No,
I'm gonna wait till
I
after.
ain't gonna indulge you in nothing.
My vote's for Guitar Hero because I really have no idea.
I'm fine with Guitar Hero as an answer. Yeah.
All right, bro. We
Guitar Hero?
We running with the franchise.
Yeah, I think it fits everything.
Hey,
No dragons.
No dragons.
The answer is incorrect. I'm sorry.
Oh.
it's all right.
It's not. This game, I'm not sure if anyone here played it. I played it a little bit,
I'm be mad.
but I'll show you what it is right now.
You finna piss me off like Cuphead.
Cupcake.
Oh my god.
Red Dead Redemption. I definitely would not have guessed that.
Wow.
A very popular game. A very
Not. What do you mean not a shooter? What do you mean not a shooter? Look at all the guns.
Half of hold on now.
How do kids know about this game?
See,
A lot of now hold on now. Half
I'm
of this
listening.
game is shooting. You're either shooting people or animals. Now, granted, is the category shooter? No.
Snake is shooting too. That's not a shooter.
Well, I don't think we asked.
I wouldn't
Was it a
consider that
shooter? I think we just asked, do they shoot?
You guys said if
think I
it's a
asked
shooter,
Yes, if it was a shooter.
and then you said shooting elements, and I laughed.
You know what?
And
Because
you
I like
said
Red Dead Redemption.
Red Dead Redemption is a 2010 action adventure game.
You know what? I'm not mad at it. I ain't even think about that.
Has anybody played Red Dead?
Oh,
Yeah,
most definitely.
yeah.
I just never finished the second
Is that
one.
what it was?
Kids talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I want to
BJ went
know.
up-
They know about it.
BJ gave up. He didn't even look at the answer.
Right.
God damn. I mean, I guess it's technically not a shooting game, but God damn it.
Hey, so that means next time the first question finna be, is it a Western?
Well, my boy just, I know, right? My boy just like sent me these messages I was looking at. That's
No,
all.
I really want to know how the kids knew about this game because I feel like it's an older game.
You know what? No, you know what? Now that I think about it,
It's
my
super
question.
So he was.
popular, though.
They were playing Red Dead Redemption 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told they. That said somebody. One of them was talking about Pokemon.
You know
Silver.
what? Now that I know the answer, my burner question would have helped. Because
Damn,
my
what
question was, is it a game that age group is allowed to even play?
That would have been a good question.
it?
know what
Because a lot of the times these kids play mature games that are not meant for them.
Yeah. And see, that's what I was thinking when he even initially said like, don't think about it as like a kid. And then that's what I said, like, your kid wouldn't play it, but somebody kid is playing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we kind of were on there. I mean,
Hey man, we get the next one, bro.
fucking
We
Red
get the
Dead.
next one.
We didn't
Y'all
answer
told me
again.
that
We didn't
before.
ask the right questions. We didn't
Nah.
ask the right questions, man.
Nah, we
And then
didn't.
the shooting question would automatically damn near like push us away from that answer.
Let me end the recording first before we continue. Thank you guys for watching another episode. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll see you next time.